In this presentation, I'll be discussing the topic of asymmetric information and applying this to the question, to what extent should the used car market in Western Australia be regulated by the government? Firstly, we must discuss asymmetric information, in particular adverse selection. Adverse selection is when products of different qualities are sold at similar price levels, because buyers have less information than sellers. When we apply this information to the used car market, we are faced with the classic lemons problem. Some cars are good quality and therefore worth a high price, and other cars are lemons, being cars that are of low quality and generally have an ongoing cost of repair. This is caused from sellers, i.e. car yards or private salesmen, having more information on the quality of the cars they are selling than the buyers. The difference in knowledge between the buyers and the sellers represents imperfect information. When quoting Joseph Stiglitz, even a small amount of information imperfection can have a profound effect on the nature of the equilibrium. With this imperfect information, buyers do not know which cars are of high quality and which cars are of low quality when only factoring price. So what is the equilibrium? In a world where there is a mutual level of knowledge between buyers and sellers, by evaluating supply and demand, there will be an equilibrium price that will represent the shared, perfect information. But when applied to real-world examples, this is never the case. In the used car market, the balance of information is usually favoured towards the sellers. This affects the equilibrium price. Actual demand for high-quality cars is lower than what it is within the perfect information, and actual demand for low-quality cars is higher. This affects the market by high-quality cars being driven out of the market due to their low price relative to their actual true value, and low-quality products being encouraged into the market because of their high price relative to their true value. From these effects, the market becomes characterized by these lemons and reflects people's caution when buying a used car. Now that we know the basics, let's discuss the government involvement in the used car industry in Western Australia. Currently, buying a used car in WA is somewhat easy compared to Victoria, where a roadworthy certificate is needed to sell a car. Currently, the only things needed are proof of ownership, current registration papers, and for the sale, a transfer of ownership document. In buying a used car privately, there is more risk involved for the buyer, as usually there is no warranty and any future repair costs will fall directly on the buyer. This usually drives the price down, but as stated before also increases the risk as there is less information available to the buyer. The current government regulation seems somewhat relaxed compared to Victoria, as for a car to be sold it must be accompanied by a roadworthy certificate, which is a government-regulated roadworthy test to inspect the car for its quality. By comparing cars from each state from used car dealerships, the car being a 2007 VE-SS Commodore, for a car with roughly 100,000 kilometres, the price in Victoria was $20,990 and the car price in Western Australia was $17,990. When compared, the WA option seems like the better deal, but when evaluated using the perfect information equilibrium theory, we can see that because of the increased amount of information provided to the buyer, there is a higher equilibrium price in Victoria. This is demonstrated by the same quality car not being undermined or characterised by similar low quality cars driving down its value. Through Victoria's current regulation by representing better relative true value to their used cars, I believe through their market process they are better maximising their efficiency. If all states adopted this process, the current used car prices would better reflect their true values and potential gains from trade would be realised, and therefore increasing market efficiency. I also think that this would have an effect on the car insurance market, as low-quality cars would be reflected by their true value and would not saturate the processes they use to determine the price of premiums. This would lead not to necessarily cheaper premiums, but premiums that better reflect the true value of their cars.